The Dogs, in association with the British Greyhound Racing Board.
Hello and welcome to another edition of The Dogs. We're at Walthamstow for the Ladbrokes.com ARC final, and Fire Height Dan, just a matter of weeks ago, he picked up the award for Greyhound of the Year for 2004. Can he land the first major four-ben prize in 2005?
Also on this week's show, we talk to young Sittingbourne trainer Spencer MAVRIAS. Plus there's action from the heats of the Ladbrokes Puppy Derby at Monmore, some cracking youngsters there. But first it's back to Walthamstow for the Ladbrokes back final of the ARC. It might have been voted Racecourse of the Year for 2004, but even the mighty Stowe has no say with the weather. A wet night, the newly laid track had a heavy watering, and those bookmaker brollies stood firm, didn't they, lads? There was some cracking action on the undercard, not least in the hurdles race where Springbok champion DRUID's Mickey Joe clashed with local win machine Lethal Rumble.
Off they go and racing up towards the first flight, and a good start from nearest to us, Colleen Tom, and that's racing on with, here comes one, DRUID's Mickey Joe on the inside, just to bust them up, and DRUID's Mickey Joe goes on and leads by half length from Lethal Rumble in second. The big two have it between them as they head over the far flight on the far side, and going on is DRUID's Mickey Joe now by a length from Lethal Rumble. Then comes Colleen Tom after these. They get back to Castle Line Sam up the home straight. DRUID's Mickey Joe jumps the last in front with a length to spare over Lethal Rumble, and Killing Tom back in third.
So after a couple of defeats at the paws of Lethal Rumble, DRUID's Mickey Joe gets his revenge in a slick time of 29.36. TV trophy clues on show in the marathon, with the bookies making the up-and-coming foreign dancer from Mark Wallace's kennel favourite over Pepsi Marathon second Flashing Tone from John Mullins's kennel. Two young stayers, another great battle.
And away we go, and four gets a flyer, Foreign Dancer, and leads up early here from two, Flashing Tone. Around the turn they go, a little bit of contact between these two, and now Flashing Tone goes on, only marginally from Foreign Dancer. Handy on the outside is CLONAKENNY Jack, as they come down towards the third bend. Flashing Tone, along with four, Foreign Dancer, then comes CLONAKENNY Jack. In behind these comes three, the Furries, and then a little bit of bumping out back between Creamery Mist and Latin Beauty. They go past the stands, Flashing Tone and Foreign Dancer, yet more bumping. In behind them, CLONAKENNY Jack forced to check. Now as they head down the far side, it's four, Foreign Dancer that's quicken on from Flashing Tone. 3.5 lengths back to five, CLONAKENNY Jack going nowhere now. So they come round the second last bend, and Foreign Dancer, who's been pitted with a war with Flashing Tone for so far, has now extricated himself and goes on to win trap four. Foreign Dancer, she wins easily in the end from two, Flashing Tone in second place.
Next stop Wimbledon for the first three here. Foreign Dancer winning in 53.64. But for those outside in the rain and those inside in the warm, it was Fire Height Dan who was again the star of the show. Mick PUZEY's dog, the reigning Greyhound of the Year, had been drawn out wide in the ARC final in trap 5. It looked tricky, and because of that penny's worth, the Birmingham Cup second went off favourite, while there was also support for the fast-starting Ollie Beam. The bookmakers couldn't give Dan away at 5-2. It would require something special, and it did. Watch and enjoy again.
A pensive crowd as the hair spins round for the Ladbrokes.com ARC final of 2005. They're off and racing up towards the first bend, away fast Ollie Beam, and Fire Height Dan on the outside. Then comes Six Match My Son. They go round the bend, and Fire Height Dan goes on. It goes 2 lengths clear down the far side, ahead of Ollie Beam in second. After these come Six Match My Son, 1, Clombrin Show. They come down towards the second last bend, and Fire Height Dan, Greyhound of the Year for 2004, starts his campaign for 2005 with a bang. He hacks up in the Ladbrokes.com ARC. He was in a different county in the end. Trap 4, Ollie Bean crossing the line in second, close for third, but Fire Height Dan has murdered a quality field.
An outstanding run from Fire Height Dan, possibly one of the best ever at Walthamstow, landing the prize in a time of 28.62.
I just knew he was going to do it tonight. Not me funny. Trap 5, trap 6, anything, it doesn't matter. He was just going to do it. He was brilliant.
Rob, great performance.
Awesome. I knew he could do that. I really did. I said to Mick, trust him, he'll do that for you, because I've watched him so many times on that video, and I knew he'd break better from outside. And you know, we know he's a railer, but he proved there. He don't cut in too early, and that was awesome. Yeah, it was a proper run on a slow track.
Fire Height Dan, Mick Pusey's pride and joy, a runaway winner of the Ladbrokes.com Arc, kicking off the new year as he ended the last.
An idyllic setting for home of the Arc winner Fire Height Dan, the small Essex village of Claverhambury and the kennels run by Mick and Sue Pusey. We began by asking Mick how long had he been based here.
We've been here 11 years now, yeah, and we've been very successful here. We won several finals, as you probably know, and it's been really good. We're on the outskirts here of Epping Forest, which is only 400 yards away. We've got blinding walks, our own gallop, and an artesian well, a proper water supply for our dogs. It's great, yeah.
Superb water and top quality grub for the greyhounds at the kennel.
We get through 1,000 pound in weight of meat a week, plus our biscuit and our milk and everything else, yeah.
And you have a great variety of meats as well.
Yes, there's something different for them every day, including salmon. We try to give that once a week. It's all human consumption stuff, which it has to be now by the rules of the NJRC. So yeah, we get through some.
Star of the kennels, Fire Height Dan has reignited Mick Pusey's passion for the sport, but what makes Dan so popular with the public?
He's consistent. He's got early pace, he's consistent, he's 1,000% genuine, and you can latch on to these sort of dogs. He's never a good price because you're always going to get a run with him. You know he's going to run for you.
He is consistent, but he's never really done a flashy time, has he?
Doesn't have to, does he? Doesn't have to. He will do a clock. He will do a clock. He's getting stronger all the time. He's wintered particularly well, and yeah, he'll do a clock.
The ultimate target for 2005 is the Greyhound Derby. Fire Height Dan reached last year's final, perfectly drawn in Trap 1. Connections were confident.
After the semis, I never thought that dog would be beaten in the final. We always thought if he'd be a length and a half behind Tim's Crow at the second, we'll nick it. And that's exactly where he was. And he never came away from the second bend, and we knew there was something wrong. And next morning we diagnosed he got 3 pulled muscles in his shoulder, which necessitated 6 weeks off.
So a disappointing run in the final, but what a year for Fire Height Dan. Victories in the Peterborough Puppy Derby, Oxford Gold Cup and the East Anglian Derby, plus 2 high-profile invitation races, meant that his owners Robert Kisby and Peter Pickett received the Greyhound of the Year for 2004 trophy, and the duo celebrated in style.
That's the owner's way, that's how they're enjoying their dog. He's unbackable, he's always odds on, he's unbackable, but he's got a few quid in prize money, and that's the way they're spending it, and they're thoroughly enjoying it. And so is my kennel. My other owners, they're all part of Dan. It's a family type of kennel. Everybody's involved with him, there's no jealousies. It doesn't happen here.
It's been well documented that Mick Pusey was on the verge of retiring from training before Fire Height Dan entered his kennels, but now the kennel is really buzzing.
It's a great pleasure now in the morning. You can't wait to get out here, get Dan out and the rest of them and get things going. Yeah, he's put a spring in everybody's step, and especially my staff as well, you know. Dan has attracted some really good dogs into my kennel now, and they're all performing, they're all doing really well, and let's hope it continues for a long, long time yet.
Coming up after the break, we spotlight Spencer Mavrias' pride and joy, FUNCHEON MAGPIE.
Well, welcome back to part 2 of the Dogs, and straight onto the action from Monmore, where last Thursday they staged the heats of the Ladbrokes Midland Puppy Derby. ROXHOLME Silks was having his first competitive race of the year and was sent off 4-6 favourite for the first heat. And they're off on a sharp start here from Baton and also Shelbourne Nina on this near side. After these comes 5 Stockyard Janet. ROXHOLME Silks a little bit in the wars but getting clear now and moving up into third as they head down the far side. Baton a length and a half to the good over 6 Shelbourne Nina. ROXHOLME Silks moves up into second and then comes Stockyard Janet. They come round the third bend. It's Baton still with a lead of a length and a half over 4. ROXHOLME Silks off the final bend. Baton by a length. ROXHOLME Silks finishing strong. Gets up. ROXHOLME Silks wins. Well, what a run from ROXHOLME Silks, hampered out of the boxes, recording 28.46, picking up a recent track record holder at Bellevue, Baton. On to the second heat, and Alison Ingram's Christmas Puppy Cup winner over track and distance, Jordan's Glory, was joint favourite with the Mark Wallace speedster Courage Boy. It was 9-2 bar. Away they go and racing up towards the first bend. Good start here from Jordan's Glory in 4. Rushing up now 5, that's Courage Boy. And on the inside, Droopy's Byron. There's trouble there for Jordan's Glory. Had a real rough ride, relegated to last. Heading down the far side, Ludworth HAZE has taken a grip on this race. A length and a half clear at the third bend from Courage Boy. Slightly just held up at that turn by 3 Droopy's Byron as they come round the final bend. There's no catching Ludworth HAZE. Can hack up now for Harry Crapper. Second place, Courage Boy. Running on out of the clouds was Jordan's Glory. Well, Ludworth HAZE there winning for Harry Crapper in 28.26, going on to beat Courage Boy and Jordan's Glory. Well, Nick Savers back in training, and he was represented in the third heat by the well-bred Westmead Hawk, who was the 7-4 favourite. Next to the ring was the quick trapping Volcanic Isle. And away they go. Oh, what a start from Volcanic Isle on the inside. Leads by 3 lengths at the winning line first time. 5 Little Flash wants a piece of the action, but slightly held up there. There was big trouble on the inside. Star was badly balked, and so was Westmead Hawk as they head down the far side. Volcanic Isle now not so far clear. Only 2 lengths clear now from 5 Little Flash. Then a big break back to 4. That's Drumwood Rebel. They come round the final bend, and it's Volcanic Isle set sail for home early, and now going away from Little Flash. Wins by 4 lengths. Little Flash in second and running on for third, Westmead Hawk. Great early pace from Volcanic Isle, winning in 28.31, beating Little Flash by 3.5 lengths, and Westmead Hawk staying on nicely. Heat 4 and 7-4 joint favourites were the Harry Williams trained Rhine Crew Santos in 1 and the Jim Reynolds trained Borna Sailor in 6. They're off and racing up towards the first bend and 2. Droopy's Vogue out well, running towards the middle of the track though. Rhine Crew Santos with a bit of a pitch on the inside, but forced to check badly at the bend. Bumps into 6 Borna Sailor. Heading down the far side, Droopy's Vogue now taken on by 6 Borna Sailor, showing great pace down the far side. Borna Sailor takes over at the third bend as Droopy's Vogue seem to check into the third bend. Droopy's Glory up into second. They come round the final bend. Borna Sailor out wide but clear. It's Borna Sailor for Jim Reynolds winning, tight for second. Droopy's Glory and Ludworth Thomas. Well, Borna Sailor staying out wide around the far side and going on to score in the slowest time, 28.77, beating Ludworth Thomas. Northern Puppy Derby and Racing Post Juvenile winner Tom's View was the 4-7 favourite for Heat 5. Second favourite was Paul Young's Kilkenny Usher. Off they go and racing up towards the first bend. A good start from 3, Tom's View, showing the pace as expected into the first turn. 1, Physio Bow had to check out wide there, and slightly crowded was 5, January Tiger. Heading down the far side, and Tom's View finds himself in splendid isolation at halfway. A good 4-length leader over January Tiger in second. They're scrapping out third place at the moment. On the outside is Wheaton Winger. As they come round the final turn, it's Tom's View. Made all. Strides shortening a little bit, but wins by 2 lengths from January Tiger. And Physio Bow got up to be third. Blowing away the cobwebs there, Tom's View recording the quickest time of the night, 28.13, beating January Tiger by 2 1/4 lengths. Heat 6 and recent trial stakes winner BALLYMAC PIRES, trained by Carly Philpott, was the 5-4 favourite. Paul Salas's Stormy Bill was next best at 5-2. they're off and running up towards the first bend. 1 Elderbury Figo out well, but get a bump there as Stormy Bill was searching for the rails. 3 BALLYMAC PIRES goes on. So BALLYMAC PIRES, the leader, slightly crowded. It was 4 Westmead Eagle at that point. Heading down the far side, BALLYMAC PIRES, a strong greyhound, out in front from Stormy Bill, moving up into second. Westmead Eagle still loitering with intent in third. They're away from Elderbury Figo as they come around the final bend. BALLYMAC PIRES from the front, leading here by half length. Goes on again by a length. BALLYMAC PIRES wins from 2 Stormy Bill and 4 Westmead Eagle. Fine run from BALLYMAC PIRES, recording 28-21, beating Stormy Bill by half a length. And what a hot semi-final. This one is the first one at 8:42. Tom's View drawn well in trap 5. You can't say that about ROXHOLME Silks in 2. Second semi-final, early pace of Volcanic Isle. Will he break as well from trap 2 as he did from trap 1? And in the third semi-final, Jordan's Glory drawn in trap 3. Not a great box, but he certainly caught the eye the way he stayed on strongly to qualify. And the semi-finals take place this Thursday.
Meet Team MAVRIAS, Spencer MAVRIAS to be precise, one of the sport's rising stars. His is a young training team, but one with a number of fine prospects and already plenty of experience in the game.
I've been with my dad for years. He's always knocked about with dogs at home first of all. Then we got into a bigger kennel, we built ourselves up. He went to Canterbury and Ramsgate with him. Then we went to Catford, back to Ramsgate. Then my dad went on his own to Hackney and I took out my trainer's licence. Then I went to Ramsgate when we left. Then Ramsgate closed, unfortunately. Lovely track Ramsgate used to be. Then went to Canterbury. Unfortunately that closed. Then went back to my dad to Sittingbourne and I decided to branch out on my own again, so I moved up to Brentwood for the last 2 years and I've just been there ever since. And touch wood, things are looking up really well. Got a nice bunch of dogs behind me, good owners behind me, and things are looking good.
Looking set for a good year is FUNCHEON Magpie, Spencer's leading Derby hope. A dog who has made a huge impact with his early pace performances, especially at Wimbledon. How did Spencer come by him?
We got him from a great friend of mine, Roger Casey in Ireland. He came over, we took him to Romford, gave him his qualifying trials around there. He got beaten his first 2 races around there and he was in the final of a puppet competition on Gold Sprint Fight 9 night and he come out and won that and never looked back since. Went to Oxford on the Tuesday on the Sky night, which he ran round there. Then we took him to Hove for a puppet competition and he got beat short for qualifying from the final and I gave him 5 months off after that race at Hove. And then brought him back for Oaks final night to Wimbledon, which he won impressively round there. And I took him back to Wimbledon again beginning of this year for the Springbok final night and he won again impressively there.
There's a head down the far side. 6 FUNCHEON Magpie goes clear then. There's a bit of a scrap on for second at the moment too. Glenn moves up into second on the inside to go around the third bend, but there's no catching FUNCHEON Magpie. What a roar, a band of supporters that FUNCHEON Magpie has on the terraces here. Absolutely hacks up.
An impressive effort, but just why has Spencer given the dog so much time between races?
Well, I wanted him to mature a bit more after the Hove episode. Hopefully be a stronger dog. And the main plan was for the Derby. You think you've got something special in the kennel. He's got lovely attitude, lovely natured dog. He's all you want for a Derby, hopefully. Yeah, he's a very laid back dog. He knows when he's got to go racing and he knows he's had the break. And we do a lot of work at home with him, which keeps him active. And he just knows a trial and a race. He's just a different dog when it comes to racing than a trial. He never wins his trials by far, but when it comes to the race, it's just all about winning for him.
He also seems to be high up in the vanity stakes. He knows when the cameras are there.
Oh, he likes a camera. He ain't shy of a camera. He likes to strut his stuff about on the track. You see him on parade day, he wags his tail, looks at the camera and that, and he knows he's there for business like. So hopefully, come the Derby, he can do it in the final, if he can get to the final, hopefully.
Magpie's latest race was on Saturday at Wimbledon. A cracking lineup. He turned in front after trouble, but last year's Derby second big freeze was too close up and proved too strong. But it wasn't too disappointing a run.
I wouldn't put him into the race if I didn't think he was right. He isn't 100% fit. He'll be taking race by race, individual races at a time. We haven't pushed him. We won't push him to the Derby current, but we want to keep him ticking over before the Derby, and then hopefully the dog can do the talking.
Spencer also has a very promising youngster in his care in the shape of Funcheon Pete, who arrived from Ireland with a decent reputation before dominating the Romford Puppy Cup until things went wrong for him in the final.
He got beat in the Puppy Cup at Romford. Very disappointed we all were. You just think you take things for granted. He was a faster dog in the competition. It just goes to show you. The only night he makes a pig 0 at the start was in the final night, and he made a right pig at the start. We've been galloping in the last month, bringing him back. We thought we'd give him the time of like MAGPIE, give him time off to mature, which we've done. And hopefully he's going to come back a better dog and a stronger dog. So he's one to watch out for in the future as well.
Kennel joker, though, is CLONAKENNY Jack, the William Hill TV Trophy entry, seen here going through his paces on the right. His bark is worse than his bite, trust us on that.
Yeah, he's like a pet to me. He's like a spoilt child. It's always like me with him. He always wants to be number one out, number one in. He's got his own little character. Took a long time to get him right. Touchwood now he's paying us back a bit. He's won a couple of times on Sky. And we're going to aim him, well, we'll try him for the TV Trophy. We booked him for the TV Trophy. He ran a good race on ROXHOLME night, first over 8 bends. And just take it from there and see how he gets on.
Of course, MAVRIAS is hoping Jack can land a surprise in the TV Trophy. And like all the dogs at the kennel, he's well fed and watered. It's a well-oiled machine, a tight-knit team going places. But like any decent setup, it's always looking to expand. And the MAVRIAS name is definitely one to look out for.
Yeah, we've got our own place up there, our own gallop. It was a major part for training dogs. You need a gallop, I think, personally. We've got lovely walks around here. A lovely bunch of people work here. Some nice owners. And always want to take in nice, decent dogs anywhere. Like, you're always looking for that special dogs all the time. And hopefully, you're getting a few successes on Sky. And people might start putting dogs on us, hopefully. Just like keep your fingers crossed and better things come ahead like.
Bellevue staged the final of the JP Doyle Bookmakers Gorton Cup on Thursday night. Monmore had the semi-finals of the Ladbroke Midland Puppy Derby, and Coventry staged the semi-finals of the Bet Shop St Ledger. Opens also at Milton Keynes, Perry Bar, Reading and Walthamstow. On Friday, the heats of the William Hill Prestige Stakes get underway at Hall Green, whilst at Romford they have the final of the Steve Simmons March Hare Trophy. Saturday sees opens at Hove and Shawfield, and on Sunday, Coventry, Rye House and Sittingbourne. For more information, click onto www.thedogs.co.uk. Next week, live action on Sky Sports with the William Hill TV Trophy from Wimbledon. Don't miss it.
The Dogs, in association with the British Greyhound Racing Board.